تحية طيبة لكم جميعا مشاهدي ايتك عبر قناة الحرة. نحن معكم للأسبوع الثالث على التوالي من هنا من لوس أنجلوس، متابعة للتغطية الخاصة والحصرية بايتك لمعرض E3 2010 Electronic Entertainment Expo، المعرض المتخصص بالألعاب الإلكترونية، ألعاب الفيديو والكمبيوتر. مجموعة جديدة وأخيرة من هذه الألعاب بانتظاركم. قبل أن نبدأ كالعادة نتواصل دائما عبر بريدنا الإلكتروني itek@alhurra.com. يمكن مشاهدة هذه الحلقة وحلقات أخرى من ايتك في أي وقت على موقع يوتيوب، والعنوان هو youtube.com/الحرة. آخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج تابعوها دائما من خلال فيسبوك وتويتر على ايتك شو. قبل الدخول إلى قاعات المعرض، ماذا سنشاهد معا اليوم في ايتك من E3 2010؟ في العام المقبل منصة ثلاثية الأبعاد نينتندو 3DS. إثارة غموض خطورة في لعبة مافيا 2. الحضارات حول العالم في Civilization 5. سيجا تقدم سونيك كولورز مع نهاية العام. الصراع المكسيكي على الحلبات في أول لعبة من جنوب أمريكا. نينتندو دي اس المعروف أعلن عن الجديد منها في E3 بلوس أنجلوس، نينتندو 3DS ثلاثية الأبعاد، ألعاب تلعب ثلاثية الأبعاد وأيضا الألعاب العادية ثنائية الأبعاد. سنتعرف على مواصفات 3DS بهالتقرير.
One of the things that we're talking about today is Nintendo 3DS. It's really a game changer. For the first time, you can see 3D games portable without the use of any glasses. It's great. You can just take those 3D glasses and throw them out the window. There's nothing like it. It uses some incredible technology to give you that real 3D look. It is really amazing. Here it is right here. This is what it looks like. What you notice on the outside, we have two cameras, so you can take 3D pictures. It's a very cool feature. You're able to take those pictures and show them to friends. Looks really great. There's a couple differences here as well. Now, first let me tell you, we don't have it turned on because you cannot see 3D over video. So you're gonna have to really get your face in front of it. I encourage all of your viewers to make sure, and when we start displaying this, get out and see it for yourself, because that's the only way to really get the impact of the 3D. But what we got is some cool things. First of all, we have a little analog slider here in addition to our cross pad, so you have extra control over games. We've got this 3D slider right here, so you can adjust the amount of 3D to make it more comfortable to your viewers or more appropriate to the games you're playing. So you can take it from full 3D all the way down to 2D with this little slider. We've got your A, B, X, Y buttons that you're used to. We have shoulder buttons that you're used to. In addition to all this cool stuff, this also contains an accelerometer and a gyro, so you can actually use motion in games. Much like the Wii Remote uses motion in games, the new Nintendo 3DS will be able to have that capability. We've got a lot of great games coming out for it. You know, I think my favorites are Kid Icarus Uprising. It's going to be a great game. Pilot Wings Resort, we've got some really great first-party games like that. We've got great third-party support. We've got a Metal Gear Solid game coming out. We've got a Resident Evil game coming out. We've got like 30 different games in development, so it's going to be really big. The games that are made specifically for Nintendo 3DS will have that 3D capability, but this is backwards compatible with all of your original Nintendo DS games. So you can plug those in and play them just like you've always have, and you'll see them in all their colorful 2D glory. A lot of the specs, we're also not talking about the specific specs right now, because it's still in development. We're still kind of refining it, fine-tuning it. We'll talk about some of those things later. What we're talking about today is the experience, the 3D, the depth, the color, the sharpness of the graphics. Everything is in there. We will be seeing this next year. We haven't given a precise launch date, and we haven't talked about price yet, but that information will be coming out soon.
أجواء المافيا وكل ما فيها من خطورة وإثارة وغموض ومهمات صعبة تلعب على اكس بوكس 360 بلاي ستيشن 3 وبي سي من خلال لعبة مافيا 2.
Mafia II is a third-person action shooter. It takes place in an open world. It was based on an original script written by a Czech writer, and then he and I worked together to create the script, the story you see in the game now. The story is you're a young guy named Vito Scaletta. You get back from World War II. You need money. Your father has passed away and left the family with a lot of debt. You need money quickly, and your best friend Joe has been working with the Mafia and says, hey, we can make money together. Come with me. And they end up making a lot of money, and then they decide, you know, okay, now we're going to get out, and they can't get out. Something that makes Mafia II very unique is that it's set in the 1940s and the 1950s. About half of the game takes place, or more than half, in the 1950s, and it's a really iconic period in America. It's when rock and roll was born. It's you know, youth culture, you know, rebellious youth, motorcycle gangs, things like that in America. And we really focused on that, to really make it authentic to the period. We have cars that look like they're from the 50s. We have a license with Playboy magazine. There's 50 Playboy covers you can collect in the game, and along with 50 centerfolds, actual centerfolds from the 1950s that you can collect. The dialogue, the music, there's over 120 songs that we licensed that you can hear on the radio. And you've seen the way the game looks, the art style, everything is just, it's very 1950s. So we chose to focus more on the single player experience rather than dilute it with the multiplayer. Mafia 1 shipped about 8 years ago. It was very well received. It got overall rated like a 9 out of 10. Beloved game, and this is the sequel. And the same team who worked on Mafia 1 is working on Mafia 2. Technology has come so far in the last 8 or 9, 10 years that we can do so much more. A city is over twice as big, 2 times as big. It was 10 square miles. We could have more cars. The graphics look incredible. Sound, everything about it is bigger and better. For PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. Go to www.mafia2game.com.
لعبة جديدة بعيدة عن الحروب وفن القتال، إنما تتعاطى مع الحضارات. Civilization 1 أطلقت عام 1980، واليوم في العام 2010 Civilization 5 على PC فقط. ستصبح في الأسواق ابتداء من شهر سبتمبر.
Civilization 5 has always been a game about, about building an empire, building a civilization, and making it your own. That core promise of, having your first settler, building a city, growing that city and expanding on that city, creating other cities, and taking the civilization from the beginning of time all the way to the modern ages and beyond into the future. And it's this core gameplay of, building, expanding, creating units, creating wonders, and really taking a civilization, making it known, making all the choices that are important to you, and taking that civilization all the way into the future, and all these really great, interesting dynamics and choices in Civilization 5. What's new to the game? A lot of really cool things we've been doing with Civilization 5 that we're really, really excited to talk about. First of all, we've moved away from a square-based grid system, and we've moved to hexes. And what that's allows us to do is really, really create much more clear terrain and remove a lot of the ambiguity that used to happen with the square-based system. In a lot of the past games, you'd have square tiles that sort of sat next to each other, and you didn't really know how they interacted. Could you pass through a mountain pass that was sort of catty-corner each other? If you had 2 water tiles catty-corner each other and 2 land tiles, which way could you move? It wasn't really clear. In Civilization 5, that's gone because we have these hexes, and it provides this really, really clear, organic terrain, and it makes a much more beautiful and much easier to read world. In Civilization 5, you can only put 1 unit in each individual tile, and what that's done is it's really created tactical combat and a tactical strategy layer that's never been present before in a Civilization game. Things that we brought to the game with Civilization 5 is a new city-state system. They're little NPCs that never really grow beyond a single city, and they have really no designs to win the game, but they serve as these great fulcrums for diplomatic action. You can deal with them peacefully, you can take them over, but often they have interest with either with your civilization or other civilizations, and it really can trigger a lot of interesting dynamics between the major powers in the game. The first Civilization was released in the 1980s, and we put Civilization on virtually every platform. We have a Civilization on the iPad, the iPhone. We're bringing a Civilization to Facebook now. Civilization is important to us. We think that it really provides a core gameplay that's not available anywhere else in the world, and we try to bring it to as many players as possible. And with Civ 5, we're going back to our PC roots. We're going back to the PC fans that have always loved Civilization, and we're bringing them a new experience that's better than it ever has been before.
نتابع مشاهدي ايتك عبر قناة الحرة الأسبوع الثالث من التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بايتك لمعرض E3 2010 المتخصص بالألعاب الإلكترونية هنا في لوس أنجلوس. سنشاهد معا بعد الفاصل سيجا تقدم سونيك كولورز مع نهاية العام. الصراع المكسيكي على الحلبات في أول لعبة من جنوب أمريكا. تتابعون ايتك عبر الحرة والحرة.com ويوتيوب.com/الحرة وآخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج من خلال فيسبوك وتويتر على ايتك شو. تتابعون ايتك عبر الحرة والحرة.com ويوتيوب.com/الحرة وآخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج من خلال فيسبوك وتويتر على ايتك شو. نعود إليكم مشاهدي ايتك عبر قناة الحرة لمتابعة الأسبوع الثالث والأخير من التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بايتك لمعرض E3 2010 المتخصص بالألعاب الإلكترونية هنا في لوس أنجلوس. سنشاهد معا الآن سيجا تقدم سونيك كولورز مع نهاية العام. الصراع المكسيكي على الحلبات في أول لعبة من جنوب أمريكا. سونيك الشخصية المعروفة من سيجا ستدخل عالم جديد من الألوان والإبهار بين الفضاء والأرض. سونيك كولر أعلن عنها هنا في E3 2010 بلوس أنجلوس، ستطلق مع نهاية العام 2010 على منصات نينتندو وي وأستي.
Sonic Colors comes out this year, end of the year. It's on Wii and DS, and basically Eggman, Sonic's arch enemy, has built an amusement theme park in space, and he's trying to use that to take over the world. Sonic obviously has to come to the rescue. It's a mix of 2D and 3D, so a little bit of old school Sonic and new school Sonic as well. A little bit like Unleashed in the daytime environment, the game that released last year. Lots of speed, lots of power-ups. There's a new element called Wisps, which is an alien race that have special powers which Eggman's trying to use to take over the world, but Sonic can use them to develop special skills. Okay. We're showing two levels today. This is the theme park that Eggman's built in outer space. So as you'd expect, lots of greenery, palm trees, very bright environment, lots of rings to collect, power-ups, lots of speed. So we start off in traditional 3D style. I've just collected a Wisp, which is the race that I mentioned earlier, that has special powers. We'll see that in a moment. So I'm just going to try and go through as fast as possible. The usual Sonic style, spin dash attack there. Collect some rings, use the bumpers to elevate myself, attack again, and straight onto a grind. Another Wisp, you can use that laser attack, boost past these enemies, speed me through the environment more quickly. Sometimes you can use that to unlock different parts of the environment, like this one, this yellow yellow wisps. Use that as a drill to get into a different area. You can get extra rings, get power-ups, or even find a new Sonic life. Another yellow wisp there, so I can get into drill into the environment, uncover secret areas, find a different path through. Power boost there, speed, and jump between the rails, loop the loop, traditional Sonic kind of move there. So you can see lots of bright, interesting things to do. The date's not confirmed yet, but it'll be out by the end of this year. Wii and DS. Boost through the air, through power rings. Oh, I've just died.
لوتشاليبري هيروس ديل رينج. لما أتعلم الإسبانية بعد، ولكن لوتشاليبري هو القتال الحر، هيروس ديل رينج هو بطل الحلبة. لعبة جديدة تصل إلى عالم الألعاب الإلكترونية من التراث المكسيكي. لوتشاليبري هيروس ديل رينج تلعب على منصات اكس بوكس 360 وي وبلاي ستيشن 3، وهي من التراث المكسيكي والصراع القديم في المكسيك على الحلبات.
The game is about Luchalibre. It's the first Latin American co-developed and published title to be ever existing in the video game industry. We reflect a very unique nature in our wrestling scheme. So Luchalibre is a very unique form of wrestling which takes place in Mexico. It's been very popular. It's the second biggest sport and most watched sport on television next to football. Luchalibre is very important because it's the precursor of wrestling as America knows it. Luchalibre has been popular in Mexico since the very early 1900s, 1920s, and it came up north in the 40s to 60s. So we see a clear heritage of American wrestling based on Luchalibre. Luchalibre is a little bit more acrobatic. They have more funnier gimmicks. We closely developed this product with AAA, which is the biggest Lucha Libre federation or league in Mexico. So all the wrestlers or the luchadores you will find in this game are actual existing luchadores. We will be launching in this fall, and it's coming out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii, PSP, and DSiWare platforms. So it's coming out on pretty much every platform. So the game is mainly Lucha Libre moves. It all surrounds your popularity. The way you play here is you have to increase your popularity, which is a gauge of stars that appears here in the head-up display. As I taunt my opponents and the audience, my popularity will rise, and that's by pressing the D-pad. And by performing grapple holds and spectacular grapple holds, also my popularity will increase. We have some spectacular grapple holds there and submission holds as well. And well, the game is about that. It's about translating that actual experience from Lucha Libre, which is different than wrestling, to the rest of the world for the first time, from Latin America to the rest of the world. Please visit www.herosdelring.com.
ضمن الأسبوع الثالث والأخير من التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بايتاك لمعرض E3 2010 بلوس أنجلوس المتخصص بالألعاب الإلكترونية. شاهدنا معنا اليوم في العام المقبل منصة ثلاثية الأبعاد نينتندو 3DS، إيثار غموض خطورة في لعبة مافيا 2، الحضارات حول العالم في Civilization 5، سيجا تقدم سونيك كولورز مع نهاية العام،
الصراع المكسيكي على الحلبات في أول لعبة من جنوب أمريكا.
إلى هنا مشاهدي ايتاك عبر قناة الحرة نأتي إلى ختام هذا الأسبوع الثالث والأخير من التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بايتاك لمعرض E3 2010، المعرض المتخصص بالألعاب الإلكترونية. الأسبوع المقبل نلتقي بكم من مكان آخر في العالم. إلى ذلك الحين نتواصل دائما عبر بريدنا الإلكتروني itak@alhurra.com. يمكن مشاهدة هذه الحلقة وحلقات أخرى من ايتاك في أي وقت على موقع يوتيوب، والعنوان هو youtube.com/الحرة. آخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج تابعوها دائما من خلال فيسبوك وتويتر على ايتاك شو. أنا توفيق جبران، شكرا لكم جميعا وإلى اللقاء.